Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you all so much for having me here. I'm sure you all know my better half, Kristen Eklund. She's your SOAR, but she's away being a nurse practitioner in Peoria, Illinois. She's going to be back. She's going to be back actually next weekend visit. So if anybody wants to catch up with her, she'll be there for a tick. So I'm running for City Council, Super District 9. That's pretty much, it goes into Midtown, where as far as like Avalon, it goes as far east as the city goes down to like Mount Moriah and where the car dealerships are. And then it goes as far as Raleigh and everything around Bartlett area that's not Bartlett City. So it's a huge district. You got a Super District 8, Super District 9. No other city council positions are coming up this August except this one, because the guy that was in it, Philip Spinoza, who's a big Chamber of Commerce guy, he's one of Fred Smith's guys, he's literally a vice president at FedEx. So he's stepping down because they're giving him a six-figure-a-year job at the Chamber, and you can't be on both. Just like Shay Flynn did before that. He got on city council, stepped down, took a job at the Chamber. So Ford Canale, who's the 35-year-old guy that inherited the Canale Funeral Homes, the Chamber and these guys have put him in there now, interim, and he'll be on the ballot as well. Burch is going to come first, so it's going to be at the top. They're for private interest, business, and the Chamber. I'm for labor because I'm American Federation Government Employees. Labor is a federal officer with TSA. So, you know, I'm standing up for the working people and for the majority of Memphians, which is being suppressed. I can sit there and tell you my accolades and my history, but what I want to discuss with you right now briefly is what happened yesterday. I went down to the Shelby County Election Commission out on Nixon there by the Penal Farm. They are trying to implement voter suppression. And when I say they, let's just be honest, it's the Republicans. Okay? And it's white Republicans. This is a nonpartisan seat. And I'm not trying to get into the politics, but the politics are getting into us. And we've got to defend ourselves as Memphians, regardless of age, gender, race, you know, political affiliation, or religious affiliation. We are being attacked. We fought too hard to get equal voting rights for all Memphians, and we had great sacrifices and losses through the years. So in short, what they did was the commission by itself went in and voted to cut the number of early voting stations from 26 to 21 and said, and the 5 that they cut were predominantly minority, working class neighborhoods. And they said everybody gets out to the Agri-Center. Well, now the Agri-Center is predominantly white Republican votes. And if you're coming from Whitehaven, you got to take 3 hours of bus rides to get over there, it's designed to make voters just say, that's too much to fool with, you can't fight City Hall, I'm just not going to deal with it. Because from their perspective, what's important about my race is there's going to be a primary going on with certain elections. So they'll say, well, I'll just wait for election day. The point is, they're going to try and push our voice and our votes down so that small, big businesses that want to privatize everything, that want to take away the pensions and the benefits for our first responders, the police, the firefighters, the sanitation workers. But with those first responders, that's the most important. They're leaving here. They're saying, I'm getting shot at for 30 years and you're not going to take care of me like you promised to do in 77. They're going to leave. And what's that going to do to crime? It's going to make it go up. It's going to make all the bad people in town go, ollie, ollie, oxen free. There's not any really good cops out there that give that care. And then if you just take someone and make them a police officer, and all they want is a badge and a gun, how more likely are they going to be susceptible to corruption, to be able to take care of their families because they don't have health care benefits and pensions? This is a time we can make a difference about it. So I need your support. Anybody you know in the district and yourself. And if you want to figure out, I don't know where I'm registered, on my website, votebirch.com, when you go there, there's a button you can click on and you can type in your name. Because sometimes you may still be registered at one of your parents' or relatives' house, even though you're living somewhere else. So you may be able to vote in my race and not even be aware of it. But then you may know somebody who is. It's all a matter of us showing up and voting. Right now, it's the most critical time ever. And anything that is ever brought to me will not only be heard, but it will be addressed and presented to City Council. And it'll have a fair voice. Even if we get outnumbered and outvoted, at least we're planting a flag. And I appreciate y'all so much. I love your organization. And I know Kristen was saying how much she wished she could have been here today to help address as well. But I'm an AEPI. The only reason I got into the Greek system back in 1986 was because there were Jewish boys that were pledging the Pikes and the KAs, and they were getting through the whole process, and right when it came up to initiation, they're blackballing them and never initiating them. But they took all that money and made them do all that rigmarole to get there. So I went, and my best friend was the president of AEPI, which is a predominantly Jewish fraternity at University Knoxville. Drove up there, got initiated, and made a founding father. Came back here, we got into the Greek system, we got into intramural sports and all that, and we just said there, we're going to stop that, you know what I mean? And then I was in it for like 2 years, very active, and I said I did what I needed to do, and then I went on my way and got on with my life. But this is very important about tolerance. The key theme right now, and I'm going to close on this remark that disturbs me the most, is there is a mantra in this nation right now that there is tolerance of intolerance. You know, when you have our supposed leader saying, well, they're probably good Nazis also. The minute that that is tolerated and allowed, you know who's next. You know what's going to happen right then, because for years, it doesn't mean that racists and bad people with a message and a directive of hate, they hadn't gone away. But they were stumm, they were quiet. Because of what we fought for and established, they just laid quiet all that time for fear of reciprocity, that their families would get a bad reputation or people wouldn't do business with them. But then when you have leadership at the top level come out and say, it's okay to believe and say whatever you want, ollie ollie oxen free. And this is what's happening, and we can prevent that. We can sustain what we have, and I appreciate you very much, but let's stop this voter suppression and let's get the vote out, because it is their intent to silence us, and we're not going to allow that. Right? Right. All right? I love y'all. God bless.